Evening all, welcome back to Space Engineers. So here we go, this is the back of our repurposed ship. Although it doesn't know it yet, this little harmless ship flying along, all calm and you know, tranquil, and doesn't realise it has a pretty horrid life ahead of it. Mwahaha. Anyway, let's talk more about Space Engineers. Now, Space Engineers is hitting the headlines a little bit lately with something called... Space Engineers, I think, are one of the first games to actually pay YouTubers to do videos of it. I'm sure this is happening a lot more, but I think it's the first maybe major public one. And this is kind of coming about from a group of people called the Yogscast. And what they're effectively doing is a program called Yog Discovery, which is, if you go and read up about it, it's them selling their YouTube talent to games companies to sell their game for them. So... And I guess a lot of people are quite unhappy about this. I know that quite a few sort of prominent YouTubers are really decrying this, but I think my position on it would be I pretty don't care. I think as long as people are fully aware that you're being paid, it's a paid promotion, you're being paid to do this, then I actually don't see the problem with it, to be honest. But that's just me. I mean, would I do it? Probably not. It depends. You know, again, I wouldn't... All of the games we play because we kind of like them. You know, we're not going to sit here and play a game we don't like. And if we do play a game we don't like, this is where I think the ethical quandary comes in. If we do play a game we don't like, we're not going to say that. We're going to be truthful. We're going to say this is a load of old bilge, and this is a load of old bibble. Don't bother with it. It's a load of shash, and we will continue to do that continually. We won't stop in that endeavor. And I think that's probably where I think a lot of the issue maybe is coming from, is people are not terribly happy that in effect what's happening is they're selling reviews, they're selling, they're selling themselves, which is a problem for a lot of people, because obviously you don't want to kind of be told this is great, this is an amazing game, this is brilliant, go buy it, and then it's not, or it's maybe not what you saw, or maybe there's a bit of trickery going on. Because advertising on YouTube is a very tricky thing. There's no kind of guarantee that actually you have, that people are saying the honest thing to you. So you need to be very careful of that, because this is such new media. It's very difficult to prove that bullshit's happening. So be very aware of that. And it's just unfortunate that Space Engineers is the first game that's kind of, I guess, hitting this problem, if you like, because they have paid effectively for the Yogscast to go play it. Which, positive or negative, if you agree or disagree, doesn't matter. It's not for debate, because that's what they've done. If they want, they realize that if they get people, of channels like the Yogscast, which have 7 million people subscribe to their channel, then they're going to get like a lot of sales from that. But I think my problem would be is if they then make out that they love it when they actually hate it. That's literally just being a whore. And just to be clear, a prostitute is paid to like something that they don't obviously like. No, none of them like what they do. Let's be clear with that. And I think, to be honest, saying that a YouTuber playing a game that they really kind of think is a bit shite, and then actually then saying it's brilliant, go buy it, is just downright lying. It's absolutely the worst betrayal of trust that I think ever could be. So there we go. Got a bit deep, hot, heavy then, but to be honest, let's see what happens. I mean, for me, I've got to admit, I'm completely non-plussed by much of it, because I think at the end of the day, even if we ever got that big, we still would be. It would be difficult for us to even warrant doing it, because we're not just going to play anything. We will play stuff that we have fun with. So, most people will say, "Well, let's go play Minecraft. Let's play Battlefield 4. Let's go play, all of these games that have millions of people playing them." Well, we don't do that. We play Dust. I think 5,000 people a day play that game or something. We play Space Engineers, which started as nothing. Nobody played it. And we've played these kind of games because they actually are fun games and we enjoy playing them. So to be honest, that is our kind of commitment that we have. But again, we're not being paid to play them. We buy every game we feature. We don't get given anything. So it's an interesting one, because I think for me, a lot of the issue, I think, is just understanding that a lot of the time, games companies and developers and that are desperate for their product to work. I get that. But I think also they have to accept that there are ways to do it that I just think I really wouldn't recommend. And I think kind of paying people to pretend to like a game is ethically the issue here. if they played, if they were paid to play it and they said it's a load of old shit, don't bother with it, then obviously they wouldn't be paid for long. But that could in effect be actually what maybe is needed. Maybe a bit of truth is actually what the developer really needs. Who knows? But from my point of view, I think it's kind of sad that Space Engineers has been embroiled with this, because it certainly seems to be the first game that has, that I'm aware of, that's paid YouTubers to basically do it, just on the premise, because Yogscast, for those that don't know, is a Minecraft channel. It's basically all about Minecraft. So by tying their banner to that, that's obviously created sales for them in terms of the game. So it is a good idea in the long run. Anyway, let's talk about Space Engineers. Got all that bloody talk about bloody YouTube. Who cares? I know. Who cares? So we now have a mighty yellow beast. We're going to basically turn it into a bit of a SquadB mobile in a minute. But as you see, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, that's simple as that. Just 2 ships, bolt them together. And then what we do is we then start to build the walkways, the shared engines, the shared reactors, and so on. And I've got to admit, this is a bloody fun thing to do, because firstly, it's a massive amount of materials. So again, yes, you do have to go and get them, which isn't the easiest thing to do unless you're in creative. But if you can do it, then effectively what you get is an awful lot of ship. And there we go. That's just 2 ships welded together. Now, I know we're not going to take it out like that. That's literally, this is ready for refit now. It's only just going to begin. So don't hate me too much, bro. What we're going to do now is actually work out what this ship should do, how it's going to work, etc. Because it's kind of got military capabilities at the front, and it's got a mining capability at the back, which is again pretty cool, because what that means is we can actually have maybe a much more of a functional role for this ship. So I'm quite excited about this. I think this is definitely worth having a go at if you've never done this before, because there is something nice about building a ship from scratch, totally agree, but it's very time consuming, whereas doing this is a quick way to have maybe a bigger ship that you can do something with and have a bit of fun with as well. So there we go, we've got a couple of reactors. We're probably just going to drop it down to 1 reactor, because again, I can't imagine this ship would need more than that. Engines and gun wise, I think it's looking pretty fine. I think again, looking at the way this thing has been built, I think it's not even been finished yet from the look of it. There we go, that's looking good. And then what I'll do is start to really cut out the bollocks and start to build, cut out all the rubbish that's not needed on this ship, and basically just start to build a pretty good armored skeleton over it. And then we need to basically think about the conveyor system that runs all the way through. Currently, that's just a single can to a gun. That's not good. That's really not good. And we need to figure out how we can then link it to the station through a conveyor as well, because this is going to need to rearm at said station. I want basically this ship to be able to walk all the way from front to back, was it forward to stern? There you go. I know what I'm doing. And and basically then use all of the equipment correctly as well. So there we go. Look at this. Go faster stripe. Again, SquadB colours, very nice indeed. It'll do for now. And what we're going to do is basically just spend the next few moments really figuring out how it's going to work inside and so on. But this game, man, I know I keep saying this, but I really do hope that people are enjoying this game, because it is just beguiling. It really is. There's so much to do in this game that I really can't sing its praises enough. So what we're doing here is we're actually just going to build some struts. This is just to kind of, I don't know, it doesn't look pretty at the moment, but this is just a guide to kind of get us going, to basically figure out where and what and who and how we're going to build. And we'll build probably a central corridor all the way through it. But again, the beauty of doing this is that you've got the frame built, you've got the hull completely constructed already, and that's a good place to start building the internals. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.